What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the show presented by TwinSpires. Second leg of the Triple Crown is tonight. The Preakness Stakes, 7:01 Eastern Time, post time from Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore, Maryland. Brendan Glasheen, joined by two of our very best horse racing analysts, Sean Zerillo and Jeremy Pond. We have you covered with winners, best bets, exotics, and a market report from Darren Rovell coming up on the show. If you want to get down for some action on the Preakness Stakes, check out the offer we have for new users at TwinSpires. Get a $400 deposit bonus by signing up with the promo code Action Racing. Whether you want to take the betting favorite in Epicenter or a popular long shot like Creative Minister, get some free cash along the way. Head on over to TwinSpires now. And again, make sure to use the code Action Racing for that $400 bonus. All right, let's get to it. We have Zerillo and Jeremy loaded up in the starting gates. Let's get on the undercard. Sean Zerillo, your favorite bet at Preakness?
Race 9, the Chick Lang Stakes. This is a 6-furlong sprint on the dirt, one of my favorite races on Pimlico Preakness weekend. I'm taking the number 6 Chasing Time, 12-1 on the morning line, trade by Steve Asmussen. Asmussen has won this race 5 times, won 3 of the past 4 of the past 7, including one of my favorite horses ever, Matoli. Now, he also has the number 1 Cogbird in here, 5-2 on the morning line, but I am taking the horse with the longer odds. I expect a bunch of pace pressure up front, and I think Chasing Time, who is cutting back in distance after getting some class relief, previously ran in the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby, the Grade 2 Rebel Stakes, much classier horses, so taking a step down here in competition. Like his ability to run late, and I think he's going to end up catching up to a fast pace up front. So I'm going to bet him win, place, and show across the board. I think he has a good chance of winning, but I very much like his chances of hitting the board.
Jeremy Pond, your favorite undercard bet?
We're going to go a race after Sean's 9th race. We're going to hit the 10th race with the James W. Murphy Stakes. We're going to go on the turf for 1 mile. We like Ready to Perform. 5-2 odds right now. Win, place, and show wager. It's a trainer Brad Cox horse. Florent Giroux aboard. Sire's Kitten's Joy. If you know me, I love Kitten's Joy on the turf. So I feel like this horse coming off a really bad 7th place outing in the Golden Mile in Santa Anita back on November 5th. So I feel like this is a nice long layoff for him. It's his first race of the year. 2 wins prior in his only other starts. So I'm thinking maybe he shipped Horley into Santa Anita. He's won on the East Coast at Laurel. So I'm going to go with him. I'm going to give him a second chance, and we'll see where we go with that.
Okay, very good. Moving on. Let's go to Preakness Stakes best bet, Zerillo.
Yeah, I think Epicenter is the most likely winner, but I certainly would not bet him at 3-5, 4-5, even money. I think he should be closer to 3-2, perhaps around 40% implied. There is a couple of other horses that I think can win this race. Early voting would be my prime contender amongst them. I also like the filly here a little bit as well, but early voting has the clearest path to victory. 1, if he's able to get loose on a lead, and I think we may see an overreaction after having the hottest pace in the history of the Kentucky Derby, fastest quarter mile ever in the Derby. So may see these jockeys pull back a little bit and not want to put their horses out of contention early. And if nobody goes with early voting, he may run a merry-go-round around the track. Went a mile and 3/16. Well, this first time going a mile and 3/16. He went a mile and a 16th last time and didn't get the full distance. So that is my primary concern if he wants to go the extra 16th of a mile here. And then on top of that, Epicenter fires, he's probably going to win this race. If he doesn't fire, early voting is the most likely to take it. If somebody else pressures early voting up top, then I think there's a good chance that we could see a closer end up running in here late if Epicenter doesn't fire as well. So early voting to me, if he's going to be the third choice on the odds board by the time the post time hits, I definitely think he's the best value on the board. I'm going to bet him across the board, win, place, and show. And I'm also going to have him on top of some exotics alongside Epicenter.
Jeremy, we talked earlier in the week on the Action Network podcast, and you did have some carryover thoughts on early voting as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback on Sean right there. He touched on pretty much every point that I saw going into this race as well. Trainer Chad Brown opted to skip the Derby 5 years ago with a horse named Cloud Computing. It turned out to be the right decision. Cloud Computing wound up winning the Preakness that year. Similar path between these two horses. So he knows what he's doing with these horses when he's opting to go for the shorter distance, not necessarily putting the horse at risk in running the Derby, not performing well, setting him up for, coming off of a layoff, going into this race, shorter distance. Finished second to Mo Donegal in the Wood Memorial. It was a game effort, just got caught late. And I feel like with jockey Jose Ortiz in the saddle, they're going to have a good position in the race. I don't think a closer is going to win this race. Epicenter is going to go to the front. I think he's going to get pressured by simplification. I'm hoping he gets pressured by simplification and Creative Minister. If that happens, I think what you'll see is somebody coming from that stalking position, maybe in that third or fourth spot. And I'm hoping early voting is there to pick up the pieces and pass them down the lane. So I'm going to be playing him across the board. The morning line odds are 7-2. Let's hope they drift up a little bit as we get close to the post time, and we can get a nicer number on this. But he won't go off as a favorite. I hope the bettors keep pounding Epicenter and we get a better price on early voting come race time.
Anytime we do one of these shows, horse racing shows, specifically for the Triple Crown, and folks are always looking for that long shot play. And this is, of course, a harder race to determine because it feels very top heavy, as we discussed going in. Zerillo, favorite long shot, and this particular horse might have the best name going in the race this weekend.
Yeah, the number 9, Skippy Longstocking. Now, I've seen a lot of buzz for the number 2, Creative Minister. And if Epicenter is going to go off at 3-5, all of these odds for the horses are going to drift up. So you might find Skippy Longstocking perhaps even closer to 25 or 30-1 by post time. But this is a son of exaggerator, the 2016 Preakness winner. That horse had a phenomenal closing kick. He was third behind Modonegal and early voting, as we just talked about, in the Wood Memorial. And he had a very bad trip that day. He got stuck on the outside, went wide around the track, wide around both turns, had dirt kicked in his face the whole way, and still finished up pretty strongly. So I like the race that he had. He had some excuses for not running better that day, and he's continued to improve with basically every start. His speed figures are improving over time. On top of that, 6 weeks between his starts here, instead of the horses coming back from the Derby on 2 weeks of rest, getting a full 6 weeks of rest between races, which is what I typically like to target for horse peaking at the right time. So Skippy Longstocking, the number 9, 20-1. Certainly think a horse you want to include underneath in your exotics. Not sure if he can win the race. As Jeremy said, I don't know how much pace pressure there is going to be up front, but Skippy Longstocking will be on all of my exotic tickets underneath.
Jeremy, you're once again in alignment with Sean.
Once again, I just come right behind Sean with the same exact pick. I talked about Skippy Longstocking earlier in the week as part of my Black Eyed Susan Preakness Stakes Daily Double as my live long shot for the Preakness side of it. Finished third in the Wood Memorial back on April 9th to Modonegal and early voting. You cannot knock the horse for finishing behind those two horses. Quality horses, they're going to be around all summer and going into the classic races when the Breeders' Cup hits in November. He got checked early. I went back and watched the race twice. Got checked early. He stopped a tad around the quarter mile when they hit the clubhouse turn, but regained position and finished the game third, I thought, for Saffie Joseph Jr. He's got the nice layoff, as Sean alluded to. Junior Alvarado aboard. I love Junior Alvarado, one of my favorite jockeys in the game. Hard-working, hard-trying guy. Out of New York, moved his tack to Gulfstream this winter, and obviously got a lot of mounts down there. So I think that hiatus is going to help him, and he's going to be a fresh horse again. I like that fresh angle. These are two horses out of the wood I'm taking going into this race, and I think if things fall apart up top for Epicenter is going to be able to dictate everything that happens, I think, in this race. Unless somebody goes out and really, really hammers him and puts up these crazy numbers, 22 and change, 45 half mile, then the amount of racing that he has done, Epicenter's run in his career so far, a lot of races for a 3-year-old, he could bounce off the Derby where he was fantastic finishing second. Obviously, we all thought he probably won the race until Rich Strike ripped up the rail and nicked them at the wire. If this horse bounces and things fall apart, Skippy Longstocking at 20-1, I hope we can get those odds. I think he might be that wise guy horse that people might start putting money on getting closer to the race. But for sure, you have to use them in your exotics underneath superfectas, trifectas, even your exactas, and hope you can catch a little bit of a price there with him. But this is a live underdog, a live long shot.
Okay, before we continue, up next, here's Darren Rovell with a market report.
Well, it is a wonderful Preakness morning, and we have the odds for you, of course. Only one of the top 3 from the Derby returning. Epicenter came in second. Rich Strike not coming back. Zandon not coming back. Epicenter is the favorite this morning, 6-5. Early voting at 7-2, and Secret Oath, the filly, coming from winning the Kentucky Oaks at 9-2. Simplification at 6-1. Creative Minister at 10-1. Armagnac at 12-1, Skippy Longstocking at 20-1, Happy Jack at 30-1, and Fenwick is your longest odds. You're not going to get Rich Strike odds today, 50-1 on Fenwick. So you might have to box a couple horses to make any money today. If it's going to be chalk, it'll be chalk. And those who have Rich Strike, that might be your Rich Strike. If you want to get some action down and you have not gone to TwinSpires yet, if you're a new user, you get a $400 free deposit bonus if you use our code Action Racing, ACTION RACING. Bet on whoever you want. New user, TwinSpires, action today. Use Action Racing where it says promo code, and you get a $400 free deposit bonus. Good luck to everyone today. We will be watching no matter who we have, no matter how many horses we have. It is the second leg of the Triple Crown. So we will be turning it on, and good luck to all. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Darren. One last set of bets before we say goodbye. Let's get to exotic look here. Zarilla, what do you have for us?
There's 3 horses I'm tossing: the number 3 Fenwick, the number 6 Happy Jack, and the number 7 Armagnac. So what I'm going to do is put my top 2 win contenders on top, the 2 top choices on the morning line. Not sure if they'll be 1 and 2 by post time, but the number 8 Epicenter and the number 5 Early Voting. We're going to put them in first place. We're also going to use them in second and third with the other horses that I didn't toss. So the 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, and 9 in both second and third with the 5 and 8 on top. That's how we're going to play the trifecta. Might even play the exacta with the same 2 lines. Still figuring out how I don't bet other tickets, but feel pretty solid about playing the trifecta in that way.
Jeremy, what do you got as far as how you want to go with an exotic bet?
I'm looking at 2 exotics here. First, we're going to start with the exacta. I'm going to box up the number 1 Simplification with the number 4 Secret Oath, the filly who is trying to become the 7th female horse to win this race in its 147 runnings. The number 5 Early Voting, of course, and the number 8 Epicenter, who's your morning line favorite. With the trifecta, we're going to use 3 horses on top in the first leg to win. Secret Oath, Early Voting, and Epicenter. So 4, 5, 8 in the first position. And then we like 1, 4, 5, 8, 9 in the second and third position. So Simplification, Secret Oath, Early Voting, Epicenter, and Skippy Longstocking for place and for show. So if you're going to put those in numbers wise, it's 4, 5, 8 over 1, 4, 5, 8, 9 over 1, 4, 5, 8, 9 for your triple.
And essentially, Jeremy and I have trimmed the same horses, except he also dropped Creative Minister from his second and third line. So I think it's interesting that we sort of ended up dropping the same group of horses. He just dropped one more than I did.
Yeah, I think Creative Minister just entered because Kenny McPeak, trainer, just felt like entering him. From what I'm hearing, it's just a position where they're going to take a chance. He won earlier coming into this race. Again, fresh faces sometimes do well here in this spot. So I just hope it's not him.
And he did run 2 weeks ago. He was on the Derby undercard as well. So you mentioned wanting those fresher horses, the horses coming off of longer layoffs, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, as opposed to the 2 week run back. So definitely see the angle.
Okay, gents, great stuff as always. For Jeremy and Zerillo's entire betting card, along with the rest of our Action Network colleagues, download the Action Network app. You can find all of the data, the picks, and what these guys are on for the weekend. We'll see you in a couple weeks, everybody. We'll have the Belmont in 3 weeks. We'll be breaking it all down here on the Triple Crown Betting Show here at the Action Network. For Jeremy Pond and Sean Zerillo, Brendan Glasheen, good luck, everyone. We'll see you next time.